Hey guys, welcome to this video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jackie and I talk about spirituality and personal development to help raise the consciousness of the planet. So in today's video, I felt really called to talk about 8 different ways to let go of the past. I felt really called to talk about this because a lot of times we get taken away from the present moment and we're caught up either living in the past or the future. For myself, I had a tendency to live in the future a lot, and once I read the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, I just had this huge realization, and I was able to take a step back, observe more of my thoughts, and continually bring myself back into the present, because so much of our suffering comes from when we're living in the past or the future. A lot of anxiety is from future things that aren't real yet, and a lot of things like depression and other things is when our mind tends to go to the past. But when we can come back to the present, we realize how beautiful and how safe and how everything's okay right here in this moment. So and a lot of ways to help us get to where we want to be comes down to fully being able to let go of the things from our past that no longer serve us and that are holding us back. So yeah, I'll get started and talk about the different ways we can practice letting go of our past. So the first way is to give yourself permission to forgive yourself and others. This one is really, really important because we can't fully let go of our past until we learn how to forgive. And maybe you don't think someone from your past deserves your forgiveness, but don't do it for that. Do it because you deserve the inner peace and you deserve to free yourself. So forgive them because you deserve that. And yeah, you deserve to feel well and be well. So some ways that you can practice forgiveness is acknowledging the mistake out loud. That is really, really powerful when you can do that. Another way is to think of each mistake as a huge learning experience. So go back to your past and think, if I did make a mistake, like what was it and what can I learn from it going forward? And another way to practice this is to write a forgiveness letter either to yourself or to the other person. And you don't have to actually give it to this person. You can just keep it to yourself. But when you can put it on paper, it's really, really powerful and it helps you release that feeling. So yeah, writing a forgiveness letter. And then, yeah, that's basically it for the first one. The second one is to quiet the negative inner critic inside your mind. We all have a little chatter going inside of our mind, and sometimes it can be very negative, and it keeps bringing us things from our past, and it tells us that, why did we do that, or like, I'm stupid, how could I have done that, and just this negative inner critic. But when we can learn to quiet it, then we can heal ourselves and help bring us back to the present moment. Because that inner critic isn't you, it's just programmed thoughts flowing through you. So a way you can do this is that when you hear that inner critic coming up, grab out your pen and paper, and on one side, write down everything that your inner critic is telling you. If it's saying anything negative about your past or anything about yourself, just write it down without judgment, let it out. And then on the other end of the paper, on the other side, then you write your response to that negative critic and answer, like, is this even true? Or write a replacement thought with it. Basically, your response to the other side of the paper, and you're shifting it to be more positive and optimistic, and figuring out if the thought is even true or real, or if it's just a bunch of like make-believe concepts that it's creating. Because once you can get it out there, then it's no longer in your head, and that's how you can release it. So the next one is to create a positive mantra to counter the painful thoughts. So a lot of times when we go back to the past, we can say very negative things and have a negative mindset about things from our past, but that's when we can't free ourselves, when we're in that space. So when we can create a positive mantra, we're rewiring our subconscious to be more positive about our past. So one example of this is, instead of saying, I can't believe this happened to me, you can switch it by saying, I'm so grateful to have learned something from my past, and now I can be led in a newer direction now that I have more clarity. So do you see how the first one is very negative and pessimistic? You shift from that being the victim to learning, to gaining something from the experience. Because everything we go through, we learn through. Every pain, everything, we grow through it all. But we have to shift our perspective first. And then if you can create this positive mantra, repeat it every day to yourself. The more you repeat it, the more you're doing the rewiring subconscious work in your mind. So then it just starts to feel more natural to start having thoughts like that. The next one is to create physical and psychological distance from the person or situation that is causing you to be upset. This one is really, really important because we can't fully let go of things from our past unless we can actually create space from that person or situation. So if we're trying to, let go of some from our past, if we're still texting them and calling them and following each other on social media and being very much in each other's lives, then we won't be able to fully let go of this person. So even if it means like unfollowing them for a little bit, or just creating some space so you can go on this letting go and healing journey. The next one is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is so important because when you're practicing mindfulness, you're learning how to live more in the present moment. That's another thing with the book, The Power of Now, that I learned a lot about, is the power of mindfulness and living in the present moment. And it can be very difficult at first, but one thing that has helped me a lot is meditating. Meditating and doing yoga really helps me come back to the present. Or even doing things like learning an instrument or painting, things that really help you like zone in the present moment, because then we can start to detach ourselves from our past. The next one is sending love to this person. So really, like, the number one way to free ourselves from anything from our past is to send love to that person. A lot of times when we're holding on to anger or resentment towards someone, we can't let go of that situation. So even though like maybe you don't think that they're deserving of your love, you're sending them love because you know that when you send them love, you're freeing yourself, because love has less resistance than feelings like anger or resentment. So when you notice the person or whatever event from your past pops up, just visualize yourself like, okay, I see you, and I'm sending you love from afar, even though you're not in contact. If you're not in contact anymore, or you have distance with each other, you can still send love to them through your mind, and that's ultimately how you can free yourself. The next one is to allow yourself to feel whatever comes up. This one is also really, really important because a lot of times we can't fully let go of our past because we're restrictive. We're trying to hold everything in, and we can't fully let go of things when we're in that state. But when we can just be open and accepting of the feelings that come in and not having self-judgment because of it, we're just allowing the feelings to come, and we're releasing, we're processing, we're crying, we're letting rage out, or whatever emotions are coming up, we're fully letting it flow through us and letting it out. A lot of times it's very difficult to move on when we have so much stored up inside of us. And that brings me to the last point, which is seeking healing services. A lot of times things from our past, whether it's trauma or any kind of pain, anything that we're holding on to, it creates energetic blocks in our body, and we're not, and it's very difficult to move on when we're holding on to so much. So another great way is to seek healing services. Maybe it's energy healing, or maybe it's therapy or psychic surgery. I talk about different healing modalities in my inner child healing video. So if you want to hear more about those, you can check out that video to learn more about that. So yeah, ultimately those are 8 ways to let go of the past. The more you can do this, the more you can free yourself and come back to the present and start focusing on the next steps of where you want to go in life. I understand that it can be very easy to live in our past, and the past is great for introspection, to look back and see the things we learn from, but there comes a point when we're too much in the past. And so once we can just find that healthy balance for our own mental health, to come back to the present and to think about what we want to create ourselves, so we can just ultimately live the most blissful, peaceful life and really take care of our mind, body, and spirit. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this brought value to you. And yeah, just want to wish you a beautiful day, and let me know if there's any other topics you want me to talk about in the comments. I'm definitely open to talk about anything. So yeah, sending you so much love, and if you're interested in more, make sure to subscribe and like this video. All right, sending you so much love. Bye.